Oops. All right, so let's go ahead and create that first quiz question. I'm going to go into week 8 reading quiz. If you accidentally got off of that page for some reason, you went to your home page and now you're lost, go back to course tools, twirl it down, go to tests, surveys, and pools, click on tests. You'll see all of your tests there again. You should have that quiz. Week 08 reading quiz. I don't know if it's the 8th week. The 8th week was actually before break started, so sorry if that's, just change the name of it. Okay. I'm going to click this arrow, this twirl down arrow, next to that quiz, and I'm going to say edit. At the end of the semester, when you want to export all of your quizzes out, one way to do it, or if you want to get a quiz from like a specific semester, a specific course, you can get individual quizzes by exporting them to your local computer. I'm going to edit the quiz because we need to edit it because it has no questions. The first question type I'm going to create is, well, let me just show you, you can reuse a question. And if you want to do that, you won't have anything, so I do, but you won't if you click Find Questions and say, you know what, I'm going to look through every single test. Well, I was just practicing before I started this video, so I have 2 quiz questions already. I could reuse them if I want to. I'm not going to. I'm going to cancel that, but you could have. Cancel. Okay. What we're going to do is create a question from scratch. So we're going to move over to create a question. I like multiple answer questions, and you'll see why when we go to it. So I'm going to click multiple answer. We are going to have a question title. I already wrote mine. My question title is Audition Properties because essentially this question deals with the properties of audition. The next thing I'm going to do is add the question text, so my question text is here. I'll talk about it in a moment. It is the image below is a screenshot from my audition project. Based on that image, which of the following statements is true? And I make sure to remind them, choose all that apply. Yes, they will be given square tick boxes, so they should know it's a choose all that apply. Again, I don't think Blackboard tells them. The user interface is slightly different. They're not radial buttons, they're square tick boxes. And then, of course, I remind them also to view any images at full resolution. Right-click the images and choose Open Image in New Tab, because they won't know that as well. You guys, so those of you who don't teach students technological things, they know nothing. They do not know how to open an image in another tab. It is surprising how little they do know. So you just have to assume they will not know how to right-click and how to view an image in the new tab. Okay. The next thing we need to do is put an image in here. Now, I saved an image from a screenshot from my audition, and I placed it in my downloads folder in here. So I'm going to go ahead and get that. Now, to place an image in this little frame here, we're going to use this little icon. This standard JPEG or image icon that's been around for years. It looks like a mountain with a sun. That is the insert image icon. That is another icon that our students have no idea what that is. And maybe some of you don't either, and that's okay. That's why I'm showing you this now, because many people I find out don't know this. This little icon here. If you're not seeing this big, broad series of tools, it could be that your toolbar is hidden. And when it's minimized, it doesn't show you those cool add image features. So I'm going to click those arrows down, make sure they're down. Good. Click on this insert edit image. Again, not the insert file. That's really annoying for students to open up a file unless it's like, I don't know, an audio file. Well, no, you wouldn't do an audio file. Unless it's some weird file they have to open in this weird software that you use. Don't use the clip. Definitely insert an image if you have an image you want them to view. So I'm going to click that. There's only a few things we really need to know. Number one, I'm going to browse my computer to find that image. And I know I put it into downloads. I know that it's the audition properties 1.jpg. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to open it. You can see a little preview down here. Let me make this image. Oh, I can't really make this too much bigger, darn it. But you can see a preview of it. What I want to do is add an image description. Now this is for, oh, can you actually not use an image description in a title? That is correct, you can. You don't have to do this. It'll give you an error, but if we want to be kind, I didn't write a description of that. If we want to be kind, oops. See, this is one of the annoying things it does. It hid it somewhere. Now I don't know where it is. Oh no. Where are you? Oh no. So my Mac, so I usually don't work on a Mac, and so just bear with me. I have to pause this video and find it because Mac just hid my little pop-up window. Okay, hold on. Okay, I found it. Mac computers like to hide things. There it is. Okay. So if you're like me and you are using a Mac and you normally use Windows, then you might have that happen to you. This pop-up window just disappeared. So image description, I'm going to write audition project showing numerous numerous tracks. And then the title is, I'm just going to say audition project, because that's what it is. There's one more thing I want to do, and basically I'm designing this test to be done on a computer, and I don't know how small the user's screen is. I don't want it to be too huge, I don't want it to be too tiny, so I'm going to go in appearance, and I've found that an image that I want them to see that's about 1,000 pixels wide is really helpful. And it's not too big, not too small, often the right size. If they need to zoom in a little more, they can control-click and open it in a new tab. And constrained proportions is already checked, so when I click on here, it's going to just update that to 667. Yeah. So now it's 1,000 wide by 667. It's constrained, so it's not distorted. That's fine, and that's under appearance. We don't need to do anything else. All we need to do is say insert. And I can move this up, and now I have that beautiful image in here. So I've got the question and the image, okay. The next thing I want to do is add all of the answers. This is a select multiple answers, so many of them will be right and many of them will be wrong. I've already done all of the answers here, so I'm just going to copy and paste them. You don't need to know what they mean. Maybe if you know Audition, you might care. The file I'm working on has some changes that have not been saved. This is actually a true question, so I'm going to say that is correct. Some of the audio clips are too quiet. I'm going to paste that into answer 2. That is false, so I'm not going to check that as correct. Some of the audio files have been not been located. That is true, so I'm going to check that as true. I am going to finish pasting these in, and I'll pause this and I'll unpause it when I'm done. And I lied to you because I'm not done, because I wanted to show you that I have about 6 different answer choices, because that's how many that I wrote. You could have 20, you could have a billion. I don't know if you can have a billion. You could have 20. But the number of answers is defaults to 4. I want to set that to 6. So if I click on this drop down and say, you know what, let's do 6 answers, it's going to recombobulate. Yes. Everything is saved, but it just updated. And now I have 2 blank answer choices at the bottom where I can paste my last 2. Some of the audio will be clipped. That's true. And then copy this last one. Are located and ready to play, and that is, of course, false. Okay. Once you get all of that in, you'll want to set your feedback. If you want to, I mean, sometimes They want positive feedback. This isn't the best positive feedback. But for negative feedback, it's possible you want to remind them of which video that they can find the answers in, if you want to be a little bit helpful. Of course, this particular question that I made relies on so many different videos, I really have to tell them, hey, this was a lot. If you don't know this, you'll have to take each answer at a time and ask yourself, how can you find out whether it's true or not? But they'll see that feedback at the end if you want them to. If you don't want to, that's totally up to you. There's a couple last things we want to do before we say submit to this question. And that's about how we score it, how we number it. Let's go ahead and choose, I guess I have none for numbering. I'm okay with that. I don't mind using 1, 2, 3s. Sometimes it will depend on what your answers are. You'll see that in the next question we do. I've never changed vertical or horizontal. Allow partial credit. Yes, if you don't click this, they have to get every single question right or every single answer right to get the score. So I don't know, it's up to you. I'm going to click that because I kind of want them to get, if they get 75% of the questions right, yeah, I want to give that to them. Now here's the other thing I do though. If you do partial credit, don't you dare leave this unchecked. Because then if you don't allow for negative scores for incorrect answers, students will just check all of the questions or all of the answers and they'll get it right. So you must allow for negative scoring. Otherwise, they can beat that system and get 100 their first time without even trying. One thing I've never checked, I actually did check this once before, you could allow for a negative score. If they choose all wrong answers, they might get negative points taken away from them. I did that once and my students were horrified. And I think I lost their trust that semester, so I don't do that anymore. And the last thing I'll do is, yes, I will definitely show answers in random order. I do this because students are students and they're going to try to, I don't know if they're cheating or if it's considered cheating, but they'll try to write down, oh, question 1, A was wrong. Next time I'll try B. Well, sorry, they're randomized, so just pay more attention to what you're doing, student. All right, once you say that you're going to allow for negative scores, though, what you're going to want to do is actually change the credit. The other thing I forgot to show you was that because I added 2 more answer choices, 50% is now wrong. Every time you change the number of answers, you should update partial credit. I don't know why it doesn't update it on its own. Maybe it's because of the checkboxes. But every time you change the number of answers and then check which one is correct and which one is not correct, update partial credit. Now you'll see, because I have 3 correct answers, it's 33.333. A terrible number if you hate repeating decimals. Oh gosh, you're gonna hate this. Now for partial credit for the wrong ones, I'm gonna write negative 33.33333. And I'm going to copy and paste that, Command C. So every negative one, or every wrong one, is going to get negative 33.3333. There we go. That is all we need to do. And I'm going to say submit. All right, and once we do that, we now have, in week 8 reading quiz, we have 1 multiple answer question. It's worth 10 points. That's totally up to you. And it has, it is it. All right, that's it. And then in the next video, if you want to watch it, I mean, that's my philosophy for making really annoying questions, that they're really going to have to look at their notes, open the software, try to figure it out. And this kind of question usually gets me, like, people don't all get A's or B's or C's even. They get D's and some people get F's because they really haven't been paying attention. And there's really nothing they can Google because of the way I write it that is really going to give them the correct answer. They have to really understand this by this point of the semester. That's my philosophy. I'll give you one more question type in the next video.